Well, the permitting process in Terrebonne, I mean, certainly we are a community, NFIP community that has a flood damage prevention ordinance. So, part of any permit in Terrebonne Parish is us identifying, where they're located and if they're in a special flood hazard area or not. In those homes that are in special flood hazard areas, we require elevation certificates and we, monitor them throughout the permit process. And, before the storm, that was the case. And post-storm, it's certainly the case. But what's different is we have probably more permits coming in, for the repair to those structures that sustain damage due to the flooding.
So how do you try to explain to people, like, do you have a sort of a standard explanation as like why it's so important to, to just recognize the new maps and not try to pretend that?
Well, I think, before Rita, it was probably more difficult than it has been post-Rita due to the amount of people who knew someone who got flooded. But what we try to tell them is that, just look at what happened in Hurricane Rita. What I've done is give them examples. I mean, and look how high the water came up, how close the water really was to these areas, and because we have, we know where the water was a couple of miles due east of here, the water was close to coming into homes. And what we've done is just identified, the need and somewhat of a trust factor that, believe what we tell you, the facts are there that water can come this high. For our residents to have flood insurance, we had to adopt the flood damage prevention ordinance, which has certain criteria. And we let them know that, we've adopted a law that says, if you're in harm's way and you sustain substantial damage, that we're left with no choice but to, have you elevate or relocate or demolish your home. Understand, don't forget where you live. We live in lower Louisiana. We live on the coast. We live near the marsh. We live near the swamps. Our land is low. So it becomes kind of a trade-off if you want to, live near the beauty and the scenery of being on the coast, as compared to the possible, damage that could happen to your home or the danger you may be in.